Hi, this is 365801 and this is another Kodansha NetGalley reading vlog. So the reason I'm having this reading vlog, one, I was planning on doing it probably about a week earlier, but I'm definitely doing it today and maybe tomorrow, depending on how long it takes me. Because my Wi-Fi is awful. It's been really bad for about a week and a half, and that's why I haven't been doing this, because I've been trying to get fixes or kind of workarounds, things like that. So I have a guy coming tomorrow to see if he can figure out what it is. Finally, the internet providers were like, yeah, there's a fault on your line somewhere. We don't know where. So yeah, a guy's coming. So I can't really do very much, even though it's already like halfway through the day today. I have been trying to do things and everything is so slow. I've had a cup of tea and I'm starting a Nico coloured canvas by Nao Shikita. I don't know what this is about, no idea, but I'm guessing it's someone who does art, so we'll just have to see. So I'm about halfway through now. I'm not really enjoying it. I don't know, it kind of feels dry, kind of a bit, I feel a bit bored. Like it's a comedy. It's a comedy art school one. So this girl, Sorano, I do have to say that there was a bit in it that I laughed out loud, not intentionally. So that even though it's a comedy and I'm supposed to laugh, there was a bit that I was like, ha ha ha, but not for the reason that they had said. Because I didn't recognise. They just introduced themselves to each other. It's the first day of art school, and it turns out that their name is Sorano and Hara, and I was just like, classmates, Samiko Nakamura. Which is kind of ironic because there's this guy here. Anyway, it's a bit surface. It feels really meh. It's supposed to be a comedy. I'm not laughing. Like, this was the only bit that I laughed out loud, and that wasn't intentional for the manga. That was just me being silly. But yeah, I'm not really enjoying it so far. But I'm getting hungry, so I want to finish reading it and get something to eat. So I just finished a Nico coloured canvas. I think I like it better now than I did halfway through. So if you're starting this and you're like, this isn't for me, maybe give it until the end. Anyway, Sorano, she comes from a small island with around 1,000 residents, which I was like, hashtag relatable. That was my life. I also, I forget sometimes. I forget that when these characters pitch up in the towns and cities and stuff, and you're like, God, that would never happen. And then I kind of go, hold on, that is actually your life. So the fact that halfway through I was like, God, this is so unrelatable. I don't really. And I went to art school. This is so unrelatable. I don't understand why they have these kind of characters. I didn't actually study art at school. When I left, I went to art school on the island. Anyway, never mind. Although that wasn't on the same island, kind of what. Anyway, so yeah, the whole thing about Sorano, she wants to be an artist, and she wants to be an artist because she wants to make people laugh, and she wants to have people feel positive and happy and interested emotions from the art. That's it. She's kind of a bit of one of those weird, goofy, aloof types. It reminds me a lot of like Honey and Clover or Nodame. Like she is, Nodame from Nodame. Is it Cantabile? That's what it gives. It gives those vibes of art college and people doing things out the norm and silly things happening. So it's got those sort of vibes. But yeah, so Sorano goes to art college. She's from an island, so she's from the sticks. She's not really knowing what to do. Everything's new. And she goes to a seminar workshop that's run by a specific tutor, and the very first day it's like a test, so they have to do a portrait of the tutor, and then he just kicks out the person who is the lowest level ability, for no real reason. It doesn't really say why. Like, is there a specific number of places in the course, and so unfortunately it's been oversubscribed, and so he has to get rid of the extra, and unfortunately it's only one person. They don't explain any of this because it's played for laughs. So she's like the last person to get in, and then one other person is getting kicked out. She doesn't want that to happen, so she ends up kicking up a bit of a fuss, so she gets kicked out of his seminar. Doesn't mean she gets kicked out of the university, she just isn't allowed to go to his fancy seminar, or workshop classes, that kind of thing. So she ends up setting up with this other weird guy who is a bit sketchy. See what I'm saying? It's like, that they're like the rejects, which is apparently very Manet of her. And then when they were going on about it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that story about Manet. I remember that they did that, didn't they? All the Impressionists, because they were like, oh, we're not allowed to have these weird, crazy drawings. Anyway, so it's an art-based story, and it's a comedy. There may be romance, but I doubt that there is. She's the main star, as it were. And by the end of it, I did enjoy it. But when I started it, I didn't. And halfway through, I was like, this is shit. I don't like this. I'm bored. I don't like these characters. Nah, not relatable in any way. And by the end of it, I was like, oh, that was nice. So yeah, give it a go if you're like into art, if you're into creativity. I know that a lot of that is really big with Blue Period and stuff. So I think this is like people who might be interested in Blue Period, which I haven't actually read. But if you're interested in that, that's like, or if you're interested in, what is it? The one who did Princess Jellyfish? She has a manga as well that's all about her life as going to art school and stuff. So if you're interested in art in any way, drawing, creation, creativity, then this is probably a fun little one, especially if you prefer your manga on the shoujo side. Then this is definitely the shoujo version of a lot of that. And if you enjoyed Nodame or Honey and Clover, then you might enjoy this too. So yeah, now for some food. I think I'm starving. So this is what I've made. I've got a chicken Kiev and some salad and some like spicy rice. This is homemade spicy rice. It looks so professionally done. Anyway, I was thinking all of this with some grated cheese and some peri peri mayo in a wrap is like probably gonna be what I have later or tomorrow for dinner. So it's probably what it's gonna have. I have one dance here, but I will probably only give this a wee start because I need to go to the shops and get out and get some fresh air. And I might pop into a charity shop as well, because there was a book that I didn't get about a week and a half, two weeks ago. Oh God, it feels like ages ago now. And I'm wondering if it's still there, because I kind of wanted it, and then I came home and I actually looked it up on Goodreads and was like, oh, actually that sounded like a good book. I should have got it. And it was only £1. So I might go back and see if they still have it, or if they've got anything else, because lately they've had some good ones. But I will give one dance probably a wee read while I eat, and then head off to the shops. So I just got back. Unfortunately, the charity shops were closed. Well, one of them was open, so I had a wee look and there wasn't much in there. But the one that I was meaning to go to that's got much better books is unfortunately closed. So I might be able to go tomorrow, but I don't know, because I have to, of course, stay in the whole morning for this internet guy. Here are some wild cherries. It's obviously wild cherry season just now up here. So I might pop out later in the evening, because I know where a really good cherry tree is. That has some low hanging branches that are usually stacked full of cherries. And if it's at this stage, I think this is like the optimal time to go get them. It might rain later, but I don't care. I'm going to take a wee basket. I'm going to stack up, and I'm probably going to make some sort of cherry jam or something. They're actually really tasty. They're tiny, tiny little cherries. And they've got massive stones. which reminds me of a joke that Misaki made in, was it Misaki? Yeah, about loquats or something, and how they're they're particularly bad because they've got such a big stone and such little flesh of the fruit, and this reminds me of it because that's what the wild cherries are like up here. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't collect quite a few and make a little mini cherry jam or something. I've got my vitamin water. Anyway, I started this one dance before I left, so I'm going to carry on with this. So far, it's toxic masculinity. Yeah, it seems like this guy likes dance, but he's trying to pretend that he doesn't, because of his toxic friends and something that happened in middle school, of course. So it's kind of like, I think this is like the opposite of Welcome to the Ballroom, maybe. Which I loved. So I don't have high hopes for this because I'm already like, ugh, toxic masculinity and teenage boys perving on their fellow students, upskirting already. I'm like, what? Ew. So yeah, already I'm like, meh, I'd rather pick Cherries. So yeah, I'm gonna carry on reading this though and put my shopping away. Lots of goodies. So good morning, it is actually the next day. It did rain yesterday, so I haven't actually gone out and collected cherries, and now I won't be able to until after 1 o'clock. So hopefully the man, I'm assuming it's a man, maybe it's a woman, how sexist of me. But it's called Open Reach, so that's who like comes and does all the checks. It's not even the people who you pay your bills to, not even them. Anyway, I've never seen a woman in one of those vans. It's always been men up here, so we'll see. It would be fantastic if it was a lady. Anyway, the person who's coming has a window between 8 AM and 1 PM, so I have to wait around all morning. Not that I wouldn't be anyway, but I might have snoozed a little bit longer today. Yeah. Anyway, I have read One Dance. I did read this yesterday before I went to bed, and I was going to read something else, and I didn't end up doing that. I just ended up scrolling on online shopping sites. Thinking about things I want to buy. Anyway, One Dance. Like I said yesterday, there was an element of like ickiness. And I'm not entirely sure if that's completely gone away, because the character who was a little bit icky obviously had some sort of issue with the main character. He has a stutter, and obviously something has psychologically affected him. He doesn't like being looked at, he doesn't like being the centre of attention, he doesn't like being laughed at. And so he has tried to modify his actions and try to fit in. And this girl here, Wanda-san, she was dancing, and the kind of skeezy guy that is his friend videoed her dancing, and it was kind of from a low angle, so it was almost like upskirting. And he showed it to him and the other friend, and they were laughing. He was like, oh, you know, hey, hey. So it's obviously the skeezy guy has a bit of a thing for this girl because she's super cute. But he was trying to see, oh, did we see a panty shot? Did we see a panty shot? Which is kind of, you know, gross. But then the guy later on decided to post that video in a group chat full of guys. And you know, one, that highlights the way that social media is and the way that technology has changed, that someone who's just living their life can be filmed, and that video can get put, you know, anywhere, disseminated across the internet or in group chats and things like that, and they are none the wiser. It's kind of sad. Anyway, that was just a tiny little element of what this book is about. I think there is supposed to be a redemption arc for this guy. He does seem to get better and be more supportive by the end of this volume, which is good. Like I said, I wasn't really enjoying it at the beginning because of that element, but that's just a very small element. But it's impactful for me because I'm like, ugh. But basically, it's all about these two characters, mainly him, and he is interested in dance. He wants to dance. He tried it in middle school. He didn't get it. He was out of sync with everyone else, which makes me think maybe he wasn't out of sync. Maybe everyone else was out of sync and he was on the beat, which is about this. And I think it's quite interesting. It's a lot of discussion about dance and movement and teaching people about dance. So this manga is kind of about another hobby, which is like the last one. So he just wants to get better at dance, and he's very good at listening to music and picking up the rhythm. And the art style is interesting. I actually quite like it. It's different from what I usually read, but it's just interesting. It's a good one so far. I once again I started off going meh, and by the end of the volume I was like, yeah, that was alright. So like solid 3 so far for these two. I like that they're called Coffee. Volume 1. It's an interesting name. But yeah, the way that the dance is drawn is dynamic and expressive, and I think that actually is really interesting. So I like the way the artist has drawn movement, and also this seems to be a little bit about teaching the kids about how to dance. It's kind of hip hop stuff. Anyway, so I don't know what I'm going to read next. The next one, I think, Golden Gold. What was it called? By Seita Horio is probably the next one I'm going to read. Because I've got hours to sit around and wait, and like I said, my internet is so rubbish I can hardly do anything. So I may as well just sit and read these, which is kind of a bit boring. To just read one after the other as a video. There's no interest, and it's so grey and cold looking outside. What a shame. We'll see if someone comes to fix my internet, and we'll see if I actually get anything other than just reading from this. I am gonna have a wee iced bun. It's like a little bit of bread with an icing on it. It's really just bread. It's mainly bread. And I might have another listen to Simply G's haul. I started it, but I haven't finished it yet. So I'll have a wee listen and watch of her as well. But I'm gonna have some coffee and start some Golden Gold. I have, once again, no idea what this is about. Well, it's a bit later. It's almost 2 in the afternoon. And so I'm thinking, now that my internet is all fixed, yay! And it was a lady. It was a lady who came and fixed it, and so we had a nice good old chat, and she was really fantastic, and she got the problem sorted. And yeah, I mean, I think that's good that I was like consciously my mind going, hold on, let's, check yourself here, lady, with your, preconceived notions. So, and I was glad I was proven wrong, because it was a nice time. It was nice to have a lady come in and check things on my, like a very engineering type one. It's just nice. It was nice to have a lady come in, because it's almost always men who come and do things. So yeah, that was nice. And she sorted my internet out, no problem. We did think there was going to be a couple of issues and I might have to go and shop for something, and I was like, it's fine, I'll just go down the high street and get it. But turns out, no, she sorted the problem straight away. There was no issues at all. So yeah, I am not that far in. I'm only a little bit in. Page 73. This is some weird ass shit of page 73, I have to remember. Golden Gold. Okay, so now I understand what's going on with the Seita Horio. The art style seems familiar and I don't know why, but oh my god. This is weird AF. It starts crazy. It starts crazy like an old-fashioned. I was like, oh, okay, maybe it's like an old-fashioned samurai thing. And I was like, whoa, this is really impactful. And this scene here, so it goes from this old scene and to what it is in present day. And I was like, that's actually really cool. That's the kind of thing that, as someone who studied history and archaeology, that this is a cool panel to have. The comparison of, because you sometimes get like, this is the photograph of this city in 1873 or 1910, and this is what it looks like now, and you're like, wow, what a difference. Or this is what this building is supposed to look like from this painting, and we can look at what it looks like in as a crumbly ruin in society now. It's like, I really like that comparisons. And this person has done it in art, and it's really cool. Anyway, it's a bit odd. There's a whole like animate thing going on. That was hilarious. What did this he wishes he could bring his foot on there. I love this. This is obviously from an actual photograph, because you can see the level of detail in the background. And then in this panel here, as soon as I saw this, I was like, Gintama! So I recognized that. There's a couple of things that was really like, this looks like a bit of Hunter there as well. So this is obviously the Shonen Jump aisle. Anyway, the whole story is set on an island. See these people who live on islands? And it's a little bit, so they have to get the ferry there. Oh, so relatable. Hashtag relatable. This is so relatable. It gets less relatable, I have to say, when this girl who's kind of antisocial in a lot of ways. She's got her pal, and that's it. That's who she's friends with. But then when she's going through shells on the beach and trying to find different kinds of seafood you can eat, I was like, raw like that? Mind you, it's Japan, so cool, you do you. Anyway, she finds this really ugly looking thing, and she tries to wash it and clean it. I have to show you this because it's insane, and it kind of gave me the dry book. so she puts it in a shrine and decides to pray to it. She gives it clean, she takes it and she tries to find out what it is. She doesn't know. This island is supposed to be like the island where the god of fortune, it actually is the god of fortune, or the god of fortune belongs there or something. Anyway, so she finds this ugly looking thing, tries to give it a clean, accidentally snaps off one of its arms, puts it in there, and then as soon as she's prayed, like I said, it gave me the dry book, and I was like, oh, let's come alive. It looks disgusting. But worse, I was like, oh my god. And then it starts shuffling after her, and I was like, I didn't know this is a horror. Jesus. It runs after her. It's like, and I was reading this and going, oh, I didn't realize this is a horror. It really Look at it. Does it thing, and it yeets it over the edge, and then just gets up and goes. Anyway, where am I? Page 70. What was I on? Page 73. So yeah, she's kind of having to deal with the aftermath of whatever the hell that was. Honestly, I don't really understand what this is about, but even just thinking about it is making me feel a bit sick. So I'm gonna pause here, and I'm gonna go back to the shop because I want to go out. I want to get some juice. That's what I didn't pick up yesterday, because when I was in the shops, they had big boxes of cornflakes for 55p. So I got two. Cereal is so expensive now, and 55p for proper Kellogg's cornflakes. I'm like, okay, I'll take that as a bargain. But I didn't pick up juice because there was lots of bargains, food bargains yesterday. So I didn't pick up juice. So I'm gonna go to the charity shop and see if it's open today. And there was a book in the other charity shop that I might pick up as well because I didn't pick it up and I kind of wanted to. Also because I've been up for hours, so I'm kind of manic feeling. And I have someone coming over this evening for treatment, so I need to chill myself out, get a bit of fresh air, a little bit of exercise. So I'm going to take a wee gentle walk to the high street, pop into the charity shop, see what books they've got, and maybe pick up a donut or a creamy thing from the bakery. Because I haven't been to the bakery in a while, and so I'm feeling it. Anyway, yeah. This is weird AF, and I can't say I'm enjoying it, but I'm also saying, like, it's entertaining because it's so weird. So yeah, we'll come back to this in a bit. So I am back from my little jaunt and I picked up Small Spaces. The Bear and the Nightingale is supposed to be quite a good series, I think. And I think this is like a middle grade. But I've heard it's quite good, and I saw that Dylan, of Dynamic Dylan, had put this as wanted to read on Goodreads. And so when I saw it, and I was like, oh, that looks quite interesting, that looks good, and it looks like a good, hardback. And then I got this, How to Book a Murder. This is something that, Starlit Bookshop Mystery. I saw, I think it was BookBub, is that what it's called? I get emails from BookBub saying, hey, check out this. And I saw this actually being advertised. And so it's a fairly new one, first edition, 2021 December. So yeah, as a fairly new release, that was going on sale digitally. So when I saw it as a hardback, when was this released? This is also, I don't know if I can see it. When was it? Do they have dates? Usually it tells you 2018. There we go. And then the other one is Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which is the one that I saw in the other charity shop that I went back for. So these were £1 each, and this one is £2. Everyone has said that this is a really good book, and that it's supposed to be from a good author. I've never read Andy Weir before, but apparently he's very good. So yeah, those are the three things that I picked up, along with some sweet treats. But I'm going to go have something to eat now, because I realised I've only had coffee and that iced bun today, and it's almost 5 o'clock. So hi, I don't know what what happened. I was in the middle of doing a vlog and I got sidetracked and waylaid and lost all motivation, and I've had problems with the internet and heat waves and etc, things in life. I'm on page 83 of The Golden Gold. That's where I left it. I was reading it and I was enjoying it, and it was interesting and spooky and a bit weird. But then I kind of got sidetracked and lost all motivation. But I was chatting to Katie, and she motivated me to continue with this vlog. Because I want to read all the stuff. I want to do it. I just haven't really felt like it. Anyway, here is my breakfast/lunch. It's after 11. I'm going to see if I can try and do this intermittent fasting thing again. But while I'm eating, I'm going to be watching Kayla's Summerween vlogs, which should be fun and interesting. I love Kayla. Books and Lala. It's great. It's just like the entertainment I'm looking for. That's what I enjoy. But yeah, and then I'm gonna carry on with a bit of reading and see if we can get all these Kodansha titles read, because I've got things to say. I've got things to read. Let's do it. So I am nearly finished. Well, no, not really. Page 148. It's getting really interesting. It's still very complex and very strange, and this weird creature. I mean, it's kind of a dark comedy because the situation seems ominous and there's this sense of foreboding, and yet there's like definite hints of the absurd and comedic in it. Especially the fact that they dressed him up, the Buddha guy. I can't really see it. They dressed the Buddha guy up in like a clown costume. They're just carting him around to see if he is actually a god of fortune. The author lady here was like, I know, I'll go to the pachinko parlor. She's obviously a gambling addict, and thought that this god of fortune would be a lucky charm for her. Anyway, she says things like, money is always siphoned from the bottom of society towards the top. Not a single thing has changed since money itself was invented. That's a fact of history. It's like, actually, like, it's so funny when you read things and all of a sudden there's like this line said in a sort of throwaway manner that's completely, what's the word? Like it's a truth. It's a real fact, and it's kind of really hits you. Like, oh, this made sense. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it'll come to me. Sort of epiphany. But yeah, money is always siphoned from the bottom of society towards the top. Something that is really, really happening in the UK at the moment is people are becoming more and more and more aware of the fact that this country has a huge amount of corruption that we are having to deal with, and the fact that there is a widening gap between the rich and the poor, and it's the poor are just getting poorer and poorer, and the rich are just getting richer and richer, and it's not something that I'm particularly happy about, and I don't want to live in a world where that's the case. So yeah, politics in the UK at the moment, so effed up. So yeah, this is just interesting. They're trying to figure out the parameters of the god of fortune. He is an ugly looking thing. It's very freaky. But he did help the granny make a ton of money. But people on the island, or people who were born on the island, don't see him as anything other than a little old man. Whereas the people who are not born on the island see him for what he is, which is a bit of a creepy thing. So yeah, I'll carry on and I'll finish this, and then I might have a little sweet treat. Maybe a little sweet treat. So I just finished this one, and it ended on a really freaky note. It's really interesting. It's incredibly disconcerting though. It makes me feel very uncomfortable, and yet I'm so invested and intrigued. I don't know how it's managed it. Ooh, this Buddha baby. Ooh, it's so gross. It's definitely got its own motivations, this god of fortune, and I'm not entirely sure if it's altruistic. But it definitely makes this first volume's cover make sense now. So yeah, it's really weird. Basic premise: this girl finds this weird shriveled up statue on a beach on the island of her home, and takes it home and cleans it, and decides to put it in an empty prayer house, like a little mini shrine, prays to it, and it ends up coming alive and being very creepy, and follows her home, and seems to have taken a liking to the granny, or is kind of attracting fortune. It's a weird one. Golden Gold is weird. So Seita Horio. But I'm not saying that's not interesting. It's really interesting. So if you're like into horror and mystery and thriller and supernatural, then Golden Gold is really a good one. And there's a cast of characters that spans like the whole community. So you've got the kids in the story, you've got adults in the story, you've got old people in the story, you've got everyone in the community on this island. So you get an interesting cast of characters. So yeah, this is interesting. I think I'm going to see what else I've got to read. Let's go back to home. Let's see. Oh, I wasn't reading that one. One Dance of Red, Nico Coloured of Red. This one is the next one. Serenade for Pretend Lovers. By Toshika Nikome. So this is going to be the next one. And I don't know what it's about. No idea. But I might have a wee cup of tea and a wee sweet treat as well. Oh, and the postman delivered some stuff, so I might show you what I've got in the post. So before I go and get myself a wee cup of tea and probably wash my dishes as well, so I will just open this up and see what I got. And it is Wild Wild Wildlife by Hyogo Kijima. This is a Kuma Publishing title, and it's one that a lot of people do not like. A lot of people are like, this is trash, this is awful, I hate it. And it's not very popular. It's been on sale for like £7 something for a while, which is actually fairly good for a Kuma Publishing title. But it went down to like £6.80 or something on Amazon, and I was like, well, £6 something is a really good price nowadays for a manga, a BL manga, brand new. So I went with Wild Wild Wildlife. It's got to be in my collection anyway. Kuma doesn't have too many titles out, so they actually have like a small to buy list. So I'm quite happy to add it and try it out and see if it's any good. But a lot of people have said that they did not enjoy it. So that's one of the things that I got. The other thing, this is actually pretty special, and I'm very excited about it. So exciting! It is The Summit. Now it's a little bit bashed, a little bit bumped. It's not in the best condition. You can see it's kind of a bit bashed, bit there. So it needs to be flattened out properly. So yeah, it's definitely got some issues. A little bit of... But it is a drama queen title from 2010. Quite old. And it's the last one that I needed to get, and I got it for £13. So that includes, I think, shipping. So I'm very happy that I now have The Summit. They only produced volume 1 before they went out of business, so this is Lee Young Hee. And I think other than Rush, which I already said I'm not interested in getting because it's OEL. This is the last title for Drama Queen BLs that I wanted to get. So this is it. I've finished Drama Queen. It's another publisher. Done. I'm excited. I know I don't seem it, but I'm like, I'm really happy. So yeah, I do need to give this a proper clean as well. It looks a little bit dirty, and a good press to flatten it out, but I don't really care. For the price that it was, 13, that is amazing. That is amazing. Because it's going for a stupid price, if you can find it. So yeah, very happy about The Summit. I'm going to do the dishes and then get something sweet to eat. So I've got myself a snowball. This is a sponge snowball. Not like the marshmallow snowballs. They're different. And a cup of tea. And I've started on this. So far, I'm not loving it. I'm kind of annoyed already. I don't like the character. I don't like the main male lead. I'm already like, ugh. It's kind of is it shoujo or is it josei? Because the characters are supposed to be adults. So she works as a sort of director for a TV production company, and he's like concert pianist or a composer, that kind of thing, someone fancy. But he seems like a dick. Anyway, I just thought I'd show you my roses I've had for over 2 weeks now. I've got a couple that have started to go brown just today. They weren't like this yesterday, and I think that's probably because of the heat. Oh no, the sun is coming out. I was like, it's good today because the clouds are covering. For some strange reason, it's actually hotter when the clouds are. It just keeps everything warmer, and now the sun's come out. It feels warmer. It's weird, but yeah, it's supposed to be a better day because it's not as sunny as it was yesterday. It's still going to be the hottest day of the year, and we're all baking in the UK. And I'm going to try and stay inside, so I might close these blinds a bit more so that they're not quite as bright. And I'm okay with being a hermit and staying inside. But yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can finish this. I don't know. A serenade for pretend lovers is pretty much what I've got so far. He wants to be a pretend lovers with her, but he seems like emotionally immature, and I'm like, ugh. I'm not here for reading about men who need to be trained and corrected and educated. Like, fuck you. Do it your fucking self. I'm too old for that shit. Sure, if you want to be a 20-something and go, oh, I can fix him, you go on ahead, love. But for me, it's like, red flag, hard pass. No. No. If you don't know and you don't care to learn yourself, then you're not doing the effort yourself, then why should I? So yeah, I'm not particularly loving this. I'm maybe not in the right frame of mind for it, though. And I do have to say that sometimes these are perfectly fine works, but if I don't feel inclined to drink the Kool-Aid that they are pushing, then I don't enjoy it as much as other people who are quite happy to partake. And so I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this one, just because it's full of tropes that I'm like, meh. And people say male romance is full of tropes that are toxic. This, for me, is more toxic because there is a woman, and I'm like, I don't want to see that shit. And if this was a male romance, I would say exactly the same thing. I'd be like, dude, get out of there. That guy's a red flag, red all over. So yeah. We'll see. I'll give this a wee read and a wee eat of my snowball. It's kind of funny. I'll just slice it so you can see. They've got like jam and cream inside. And this is one from Harry Gow's, which is the big bakery up in the Highlands. So it's like freshly made, sponge and cream, and they're made jam and everything. So it's like a proper bakery one rather than factory made. Although it's probably still made in a sort of factory-esque setting. But yeah, this is how I'm going to spend my afternoon. I'm going to close my blinds now. Okay, so I just need to jump in on here. So yeah, I'm on page 35. So this female protagonist, she found out she was being cheated on by filming the crowd of some fancy dessert shop. Because she saw the guy she was dating for 6 months with another woman, and he was wearing a ring. And she was like, oh my god, he's cheating on me. And then it turns out actually she was the one who was like the extra woman. He'd been having an affair with her. So she wasn't terribly happy about that. So yeah, he's a dirtbag. Her ex was a dirtbag. So she comes to the conclusion that having had this crazy experience with this man who is the composer, who's like being incredibly weird and strange, and she's like, hard nope, get the fuck out of there. Which I'm like, yes, woman, great. And then she went to her boss, and her boss was like, haha, deal with it. And it's like, no, this is not how things go. And this is what I hate about I hate about these stories, because it makes me so mad that it could actually happen in real life, and then you're like, this could never happen in real life, and then you read stories and you're like, fuck, it did. And this is a Japanese manga, so I'm like, yes, it fucking did. Anyway, what made me laugh so much was the fact that she's like, well, he is kind of cool, I wouldn't mind kissing him. This is the line though. Rather than a man who cheats, I think someone who's strange is 10,000 times more attractive. It's not the fact that he's 10 times more attractive because he's strange, he's just like a hottie. But the fact is, she is comparing someone who cheats to someone who is strange. And it's like, those are her only options? How about neither? I don't know, my little asexual heart is just like, lady, get out of there, you know? Feel your own worth. Feel your own worth. This is not it. Nobody is it's not just a cheater or a strange person who basically attacked me. Either or. No, neither of those options. Just be single, love yourself, okay? Anyway, I'm gonna carry on, but it just made me like, oh, is this what we're reading? Is this what I'm reading today? Damn it, I'm so angry already. Breathe. Let the sweet treat. I had half of it, and I'm like, that's probably enough. So I might put this half in, like some wrap or something, and just put it in the fridge. Keep it cool. And finish off my tea. And read this already annoying manga. Oh, I don't know. There's something about shoujo that just pisses me off. I can read all the BL. It can still piss me off, but I'm like, it's fine because it's fiction. But when it's shoujo, I'm like, this is too rooted in reality for me. This is too real, and it pisses me off because we don't have equality in the way that we should. And so this poor character should not be thinking, rock and hard place, which do I prefer? Anyway, I'm gonna carry on. I'll check in with you later. So I just finished a Serenade for Pretend Lovers. This is by Toshika Nekome, and I don't know, could I hate this more? Maybe. For a work that's so pushy about sex and is treating sex in kind of a blasé way, they're still at the same time perfectly content to be sex shaming. I don't know how this manga, and it's only 165 pages, which is fantastic because I was like, the best thing about this is the fact that it's short and it's finished now. Great. The only thing, like, I'm kind of impressed about how kind of toxic it is in terms of, hey, this woman is gonna embark on this. I mean, it is, from the outset, it's described as like a pretend lovers, but they're still gonna be physical. And so she's going in there knowing full well that this is going to be a physical relationship with this man. And instead of her being like, okay, well, I'm going to get some with this hottie, it's still like shaming her for doing it. And yet at the same time, this is like how it's pushing the narrative. I don't understand this one. And I don't like it. I don't. Is this supposed... It's definitely supposed to be like Josei, right? Because here's business career woman getting some. Great. But she doesn't ever initiate it herself. And oh, isn't it great that he's asking her, you know, you really want this, right? You really want this. But it's not. She got blackmailed into this. She was like, I need to do this for my job because I need to carry on with my job. Like, okay, but if that's what you're doing, then own up to it and be like, okay, we're doing it. But if you're not comfortable, then don't. It was... I don't know what this manga was trying to do, but it was not good. I did not enjoy it. What the hell was the point? This felt... Ugh. and thankfully short. I mean, the main guy is a hottie, but he's also a fucking weirdo and a creep. So, nope. A hard nope and a hard pass. So I'm going to see what else I've got. This might be the last one? I have no idea what this one's about. Phantom of the Idol. So who's it by? Hijiki Isoflavone. Flavon? So yeah, I don't know what this is about. We'll find out. So I have been out waiting for the rain to start falling and just water my plants to make sure they get plenty of water from all this heat. But also, I do think the thunder and lightning storm is going to hit soon. I can hear it in the background and the rain started coming. Oh, it's really heavy now. Anyway, I have been reading Phantom of the Idol. Hijiki Isoflavone. I don't know how you say that. But I'm on to I think up to page 60. Yeah. I'm not very far in. Maybe page 70? Here I am. And, it's okay. But I had to say, I got a bit bored and just closed my eyes for maybe 5 minutes and just like I had like not a full snooze, but just like literally a 5 minute sort of like close my eyes and snuggle in on the sofa and just chill, because it was getting a little bit boring. But it's about 5ish now, maybe it's about past, and I'm really hungry, so I'm gonna have to make something, and I think all I've got is vegetables. So I need to make something tasty and delicious with all my veggies. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'll make something nice anyway, and then continue. That's the thunder. Oh, it's really rumbly. That's the thing about summer. It gets really, really hot, and then we get these lovely downpours. It's nice. So yeah, I'm working my way through this. I will finish this today. I will finish these today. So it is actually the next day, and I did not finish it. During yesterday evening, I read a bit more, and then I finished it this morning. So I have now completed this. This is like a really nice color image of a bromaido. It's like a shiny paper image, usually signed. So I finished Phantom of the Idol by Hijiki Isoflavone. This is obviously a volume 1, and I have to say, it was okay. It wasn't like anything fancy. It's supposed to be comedy, and sometimes comedy is fine, and sometimes it just doesn't really hit. But also it's an idol based thing, so there's a lot of idol culture. As I said, there's a guy who's kind of a lazy idol. He doesn't really want to work. He just wants to earn money and sleep. And then there's the ghost of an idol who died a year earlier, and she still wants to live the idol life. She still loves idols, and she possesses his body. And it was kind of okay, and I was kind of a bit like bored. And then it kind of got a bit better. And then you got introduced to someone who's obviously going to be some sort of antagonist. And then it ended on a fantastic note. And you're like, damn it. This is like the best way to end a first volume. Because now I want to know what happens next. Even though for the majority of this, I could not give a shit. You do end up getting to know the characters. This is Yuya. He's in this idol duo with Yoshino, Misaki? And Yoshino's the one that kind of has stage fright, and so he needs Yuya's blasé, don't give a shit attitude to be able to come to his rescue and make sure that the fans have proper fan experiences. And so they do have a good dynamic. but it is very idol based and idol culture based, and I'm not really that bothered about that kind of nonsense. But it is kind of fun to see fans and how fans react, and so how much they were getting sort of emotional whiplash from his dead fisheye sort of persona to his super cutesy pew 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 love pistols, and doing all the choreography and be like, hey guys, yay, you know, even though he's usually just like, oh, whatever, can I go home now? So yeah, it was interesting in the end, but it took a long time to get there. It was slow moving, and I kind of felt like the pace was just plodding for quite a bit. I feel like it needed something, and so maybe, I don't know. I mean, it was well timed to have a guy show up right at the end that you're like, ooh, what's going on here? And he seems to know. He seems to know that there's some sort of connection between these two, even though she's been dead for a year. So, anyway, it was okay. This is the last thing I've got to read, so I'm just going to finish this vlog here and edit it and put it up. Hopefully Friday? We'll see. But I did have one other, well, I actually have quite a lot of things now on NetGalley, but I did have one other thing to read, and that was the first chapter of a BL title called Dr. Strangelove. There was actually 3 of them, and I did request all 3, and I got access to all 3, but I didn't download them all in time, and the other 2 were sort of archived before I got a chance to read them. And to be fair, I think it's probably a good thing. They're very, like Media Doll, they're very much old-fashioned. So Dr. Strangelove, you only get the first chapter. It seems like it's old-fashioned. It seems like the image quality isn't that high. The translation was okay. The story was meh. Full of the kind of like tropes that I just don't like to see. There seemed like an awful lot going on. It was like also supposed to be a comedy. And like I said, sex comedies can be funny if they are proper full-on, you know, balls to the wall, crazy, then the sex comedy works because you can suspend disbelief. But if it's just like a screwball comedy, we're gonna make it really funny about this guy who's sexually assaulting this other person. And it's like, no. No. No more of that. So yeah, yeah, it was alright. I enjoyed it. So what have I read for this one? I've read Phantom of the Idol, Golden Gold, which took me ages. It was like the one that stopped, and yet this is probably the most interesting one that I've read. And then Wand Dance, which was about the dancing, which was okay, but there was definitely bits about it that I didn't really like. And Nico Coloured Canvas, which I thought I would hate, but actually ended up liking as well. And I think that's it. 1, 2, 3, 4. There must have been something else. What else did I read? Hold on. This is the next one. A Serenade for Pretend Lovers. That's the one. I didn't remember. I've already removed it from my brain. Anyway, so other than the Doctor Strangelove, it's a weird 1 chapter yaoi that I didn't particularly enjoy, and that was 5 Kodansha titles and a random 1 chapter, which I'm not even going to bother. I'll review it on the site, but I'm not talking about it, other than it wasn't very great. But I do have a lot of NetGalley stuff to read. I've been approved for 3 non-fiction titles, all about asexuality, so I'm interested in doing that. I might just do like a separate mini vlog just about reading them. And I also have been approved for another TJ Klune, which is like the new cover version for Wolfsong, and I've not read Wolfsong, so I'm a bit curious, but also I feel a little bit like, ooh, it's dangerous because I know it's a series. If I read the first one, I'm gonna want to read the rest. But I've also been approved for the book 2 in the Freya Marks trilogy that she's writing, the second one after A Marvelous Light. So I've been approved for that, which I'm so excited about because I tried to get A Marvelous Light the last time and I was not approved for it, the ebook version, and I had to wait, and then they approved me for the audiobook version, and I was so excited for that. So to be approved by the like a year later is quite nice. So I've obviously been putting in my hours and doing my reviews, which reminds me I will have to write up reviews for all of these and edit this video and do a thumbnail. I must do a thumbnail. So thanks for watching this very random, not particularly coherent, and with a 2-week break in between reading vlog on my Kodansha titles that I got through NetGalley. I'm very happy to get Kodansha titles. They're interesting. They make me read things that I wouldn't normally read, and that's an interesting time for me because sometimes just reading BL or male romance is very limiting, I think. So it's nice to read some interesting things, even if I don't enjoy them. Even if I don't enjoy them. So yeah, I'm 36581 and I make videos about male romance, BL manga, yaoi, all that good stuff. I also occasionally read Kodansha titles through NetGalley. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want, all that stuff. Take care everyone, I'll see you in the next video. Bye!